Live from WTOC, the Southeast news leader. The News Now starts on WTOC Plus.
Welcome to The News on WTOC Plus. I'm digital anchor Jude Binkley. As we count down to Christmas, we need your help to make the holiday extra special for kids around our communities. It is the final day for the WTOC Big Give Back Toy Drive, and all day we've been live at the Walmart on Whitmarsh Island. That's where we find our very own Tim Guidera. Tim, I've been watching the video feed just for the last 10 minutes. There's been like a train of toy deliveries coming in. It's awesome.
I tell you what, Jude, it just keeps going strong. Every time we think there might be a little lull just because the middle afternoon, it might be a little bit slower, another minivan pulls up, throwing out a load of toys. Another pickup truck comes. We just had representatives of the Savannah-Chatham School District come by with an entire pickup truck full of toys. They dropped off a whole box that they had in box. We sorted out, filled 3 of our toy boxes, and they just found out about our toy drive on Monday. They said they were watching WTOC in the morning, heard that there was going to be a toy drive out here at the Walmart on Whitmarsh Island today. They said, well, we are going to certainly do whatever we can to help that, and in a matter of days, they filled 3 boxes for us. So, I mean, it just keeps coming. We have consolidated a little bit because there were a couple sprinkles earlier. We put some tents up, got the toys out of there, but we still can't contain what is coming to us because people keep coming out of Walmart. People keep showing up from their home with toys that they brought, and they are just bringing gifts out here that will eventually go to the Savannah Police Department's Toyland to make so many children in our area happy this holiday. 3,000 kids are going to be served by that event coming up on the weekend. Let's go take a look at some of the events that toys that have been coming in. The street's clear. We can walk across here. This is some of the stuff that the school district brought in. All kinds of big toys, all kinds of things for older kids and maybe school-age kids, stuffed animals, basketballs. Check this thing out that somebody brought by. It is an entire arts and crafts kit, Hello Kitty themed, but there's all kinds of different markers and crayons and yarns and strings and then things that a little girl can make jewelry with. I mean, somebody's going to be very happy with that. That's going to stick out of the box for just now. And of course, we've got our partners down here. Our partners with Bay Street Blues, League of Brawn, the Savannah Police Department, all coming out to make this toy drive a success. Guys, it's going great, isn't it? Bonnie Walden lost her nose, but she got it back on. Justin West is the one here with League of Brawn. He's been telling us we're getting 30 boxes today.
30 is the minimum.
All right, wait a minute.
Until we get 30.
All right, you're going to stay out here until we get 30?
Until we get 30 boxes, so we need you. Come out and support. We almost there, but it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take the community. 30 boxes to go, right?
I tell you what,
Let's go.
if we get 30 boxes, it's going to be because of this guy here.
Yes, sir, yes,
He is
sir.
talking to everybody who drives through this parking lot. He is talking to everybody who goes into the store and says, on your way out, stop by with a toy and see us. Thank you so much. You're doing such a great job.
Thank you.
Everyone, we are going to make our total, right?
30,
Bonnie Walden with Bay Street Blues, who got this whole thing started 8 years ago.
Yeah, we did, and we're growing every year, getting better and better.
Fantastic. And her daughter Jessica over here. Jessica,
Hi.
I tell you what, can you believe their turnout?
I can't, but we're going to make those 30 boxes no matter what. So I've got faith in the community.
All right, well, it is our last day to collect toys. You can bring them out here to the Whitmarsh Island Walmart. You can bring them to Chatham Parkway to our lobby. But then at the end of today, everything that we've collected is going to go to the Savannah Police Department Toyland. And then that event on Saturday is when all the magic happens. That's when all these families are going to be able to come in, pick out toys for their children, and make a very happy holiday. And I tell you what, Jude, because of events like this today, because of the last 3 Wednesdays that we have been at Walmarts across our community, it's really going to be a great holiday for a lot of folks in our community.
Absolutely, Tim. And even the lobby here at WTOC, walking through it earlier today, it feels like a Toys R Us or a toy store seeing all the awesome donations. And it's great seeing the support out there, too. Tell Bonnie I love the outfit. Very festive, very appropriate. And, Tim, we appreciate you checking in with us throughout the afternoon. Of course, we will be live at the top of all of our shows throughout the rest of the evening, hoping to get those 30 boxes. So we'll see. Tim, thanks so much for joining us here on WTOC+.
Thank you, Jude.
All right, well, we are going to continue with our top stories for the day here on WTOC Plus. We do have an alert for you because the Statesboro Police Department is asking for the public's help to find a missing teenage girl. 15-year-old Amani Mathis, who you can now see on your screen, was last seen in her house on Prince Way last night, and she's not come home. Police believe she might be in the area of Chandler Road, and anyone with information on where she is urged to contact Detective Heron at the number on your screen. That's 912-764-9911. You can also submit an anonymous tip through the Statesboro PD website. Well, overnight, a pedestrian was hit and killed by a car in Chatham County. Here's what we know. It happened on President Street between Riverview and Capitol around 11:30 last night. That's according to the Chatham County Police Department. One car was driving in the eastbound lane on East President Street when Georgia State Patrol says it hit the victim who was in the roadway. The driver of that car got out to help the victim when a second car also hit that same pedestrian. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene, and GPS is leading the investigation. GSP, excuse me. Well, the suspect charged in killing a Beaufort County woman nearly 40 years ago has now bonded out of jail. According to court records, Cortez Lake posted bond and was released from custody last Friday just after 5 p.m. He's being charged with killing Margit Schuler back in 1987. Police arrested Lake just about a month ago after DNA evidence linked him to the crime. On December 3rd, his attorney requested for a judge to reconsider bond in this case. The judge granted that request last week and reset bond at $100,000. Make sure you stick with WTOC for any further updates. Well, a Savannah restaurant owner is offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to an arrest in the acid attack that happened in Forsyth Park 1 week ago today. Southern Cross Hospitality is made up of several restaurants, including Collins Quarter, which has a location in Forsyth Park. The restaurant group says many of their employees and their families live near that park, and they want a suspect arrested as soon as possible to help with safety concerns.
It affects more than just Ashley. I think it affects anyone that's alone walking the streets at night, feeling unsafe currently because of the situation that happened. We really want to be able to provide a platform for someone that doesn't really feel like they have the capacity to go forward if they have information.
Collins Quarter is hoping other businesses in the area will come forward to address safety efforts. And if you have any tips, you can contact Savannah Police. And the FBI is also offering a $5,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest. Well, we now know a Georgia native is one of the students who was injured in the shooting at Brown University over the weekend. Jacob Spears from Columbia County, Georgia, is now recovering after being shot in the stomach on Saturday. Spears says he was able to run outside and call 911 as other students helped stop his bleeding. He only started as a freshman at Brown in August, and he had planned to fly home tomorrow for the holidays. Thankfully, he is expected to make a full recovery, and Jared Hill with CBS News spoke with Spears and has the latest on this investigation.
As the manhunt for the Brown University shooter enters its 5th day, authorities have released enhanced videos of a person of interest walking around an area near the campus hours before the attack.
We believe that he was actually casing out this area to commit the crime.
The person of interest is said to be about 5'8". Investigators have not determined if he has a connection to the university.
I'm confident that a member of the public is going to recognize this person, perhaps a family member. Some cases have broken this way after a period of days.
Brown has 1,200 cameras across campus, but authorities say almost none were in a position to capture the shooter, citing the building's placement on the edge of campus.
Whether that was by design by the shooter or not, I can't tell you, but it is an unfortunate circumstance for us.
Memorials have been growing for the 2 students killed in Saturday's attack and the 9 others injured, most of whom are still in the hospital. Freshman Jacob Spears was coming out of a study session when he was shot Saturday. He spoke with CBS News.
First I was confused, but then I realized what was happening. I ran. He got me in the back, but adrenaline did me good and I was able to get up and run.
As the search for clues continues, hundreds packed a church at the heart of campus Tuesday night, supporting one another during this time of grief. Jared Hill, CBS News, Providence, Rhode Island.
Well, President Donald Trump will deliver a primetime address to the nation tonight. However, the White House hasn't said exactly what the president will be speaking about. We do know Trump plans to lay out some of his agenda for next year, and WTOC Washington correspondent Brendan Cullerton has more from the nation's capital.
This primetime address from President Donald Trump comes as his popularity slips, especially on the economy. The latest polling from the Associated Press found just 31% of U.S. adults approve of how the commander-in-chief is handling the economy, his lowest mark of either term. Public sentiment has become a concern for Republicans as Democrats continue saying they can ride an affordability message to retake the House of Representatives in the midterms. Vice President J.D. Vance has already given a speech this week on how the administration is handling the economy.
If you look at every single affordability crisis that we talk about in the United States of America today, it's because we inherited a nightmare of an economy from Joe Biden.
The White House has provided extremely limited details about what the president plans to say.
He's going to talk a lot about the accomplishments over the past 11 months, all that he's done to bring our country back to greatness, and all he continues to plan to do to continue delivering for the American people over the next 3 years.
The president plans to deliver his address from the White House at 9 p.m. Eastern. In Washington, I'm Brendan Cullerton.
And we will be carrying that address live tonight on WTOC Plus at 9 p.m. You can watch that right here. It'll be through Local News Live. Well, this is developing now. South Carolina's Attorney General has opened an investigation into the Roblox Corporation, citing concerns about child safety and raising broader questions about the company's practices. Now, Attorney General Alan Wilson opened that investigation, again, all about child safety on the gaming platform. His office says parents may be misled about how the platform really is. The investigation comes as Iowa's Attorney General has filed a lawsuit against Roblox, accusing the company of failing to protect children. Roblox says user safety is a priority and that it is adding new limits on user communication. Well, this is first on WTOC Plus. The ringing of bells in front of grocery stores is a sound of the season, just about as common as a Christmas carol. But this year, donations for the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign are falling short of their goal as the need for support continues to rise. I sat down with Lieutenant Chelsea Carter from the Salvation Army Savannah Corps to talk about this year's Red Kettle campaign. And here's an extended look at our conversation. Well, Lieutenant Carter, thanks for taking the time today to speak with us about this year's Red Kettle campaign. First off, for the folks who maybe just see the kettles outside of grocery stores and maybe don't know what this initiative is, tell me a little bit about it and the programs it goes towards supporting.
Oh, absolutely. Well, just even the fact of people seeing the Red Kettle at their local stores, just remembering that there's joy at that kettle, as well as just knowing that this didn't just start overnight. This happened in California, and it brought so much peace to families who didn't have anything. And then it's just transpired into something bigger, where definitely locally here in Savannah, where we are able to have a shelter, where we're able to feed families every night. We're able to bring hope to people who cannot pay their rent, bring joy to children who are in need of a coat or toys, and just even bring a smile to people in the community who see us out and are doing just the simple need. So that is what that Red Kettle represents. It represents joy, hope, as well as peace for families who are receiving the money from this kettle, if it's, like I said, to pay rent, utilities, and even food assistance, as well as even being able to stay here in the shelter for a night. That's just amazing, as well as knowing that we can't do it without our community.
And something that I didn't even know, all of the money that goes into those kettles stays right here in our communities.
It stays right here in Savannah and our surrounding counties that we serve.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
And how is the Red Kettle campaign looking this year?
This year, it's been good, but we are serving so many people in need. And this year, our goal is it's 125,000, and right now we are probably at 67,000. And so obviously that's under So we still have 7 more days to go and ring at the kettle. So if anyone wants to go out and ring at a kettle, please register to ring. We would love to have you guys come and volunteer because this community needs you. We couldn't do it without y'all.
And you just talked a little bit about community need. What have you guys been seeing here at the Salvation Army, and has there been an increase of it, or kind of how are things looking?
Definitely over, so just getting here in 7 months, I've seen fluctuation because of definitely when it was heat advisories, I saw that people wanted to get out of the heat. Obviously, heat stroke is real. So we've served many people to come into the shelter, as well as just feeding them. And then right now, just even this past week, we opened up our shelter for the winter advisory because of the cold front that came in. So, I mean, you see fluctuations coming in, but definitely, the most people who are in need are the men. Those are the ones who have been unsheltered the most, who are out in the community. And then families, we've seen a lot more families come in as well. So if you know a family who needs a place to stay, we would love to have them, as well as even just women. There's been a fluctuation of women coming in here too. So we're always just trying to make sure we have spots for people, but again, we cannot do it without volunteers. So thank y'all.
And I know you touched on it a moment ago, but if someone does want to get involved or help in any way, how much longer is the Red Kettle campaign going on for?
So we end December 24th, but with the Salvation Army, there's always a need. There's always a way to give back. If you're able to even come into our shelter and volunteering your time there, if you can't give any cash, or we have an online kettle that it's open all year round. And then just, coming around and just helping and smiling and just giving someone hope that someone cares. So, there's moments where we don't always have the funding to do it, but we're blessed with our hands and feet to come and do actions as well. So we would love to have anyone.
Well, that's all the questions I had for you. Was there anything else you'd like to touch on?
So this year we are celebrating 125 years here in Savannah. Recently, the mayor just did a proclamation just to celebrate and just do a huge thing, because it's important that we be known that we've not only been here, but we've been serving the community here for 125 years. So that's just amazing, because not that many people can, not just say brag, but just be a part of something that is so meaningful. Just even being at a kettle, there's times where I've been ringing and I've heard stories of people just stating that I remember when I was a kid, and some of them have been like 60 years old, and they're talking about how the Salvation Army gave back to them, how they made sure they had a meal, or they had a great Christmas, or they just brought hope to their family that was broken when there was a fire or something that happened. So just being around for 125 years and hearing rich stories about the Salvation Army here in Savannah, it's definitely been amazing to see. So it's definitely a blessing.
All right, well, before we sign off here on WTOC Plus, over the next week, we're going to be looking back at some of the top headlines from the year in 2025. And we start with a look at international news, where history was made this year with the election of the first American Pope, while tension in the Middle East simmered as a fragile ceasefire took place in Gaza. And before the year was over, a tragedy struck Australia. CBS News' Tina Kraus looks back on the international stories that topped headlines in 2025.
In the final month of 2025, Australia saw its deadliest shooting in nearly 30 years. Police say a father and son launched a terror attack at a Hanukkah celebration, killing at least 15 people at the start of the Jewish festival. In the Middle East, emotional reunions as Israeli families welcomed home some of the last hostages taken in the October 7th attacks. A fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas held in Gaza, with growing calls for more humanitarian aid. Israel stunned the Gulf region with its first ever strike inside Qatar, targeting Hamas leadership and stoking fears of a wider conflict. Israel and Iran traded their biggest blows in years, with Israel unleashing sweeping airstrikes on Iranian nuclear and military sites. Iran retaliated with waves of ballistic missiles and drones aimed at Israeli cities. World leaders ramped up diplomatic pressure to end Russia's war in Ukraine. But nearly 4 years in, the fight for a lasting peace goes on. North Korea rattled its neighbors once again, testing new anti-air missiles and showcasing its growing military firepower, while the U.S. kept up joint training drills in the region with South Korea. New U.S. tariffs fueled trade tensions with China, prompting swift retaliation before President Trump and President Xi Jinping struck a trade truce after high-stakes talks. Trump is set to visit Beijing in the new year. A devastating 7.7 magnitude earthquake killed more than 3,700 people in Myanmar, the deadliest quake to strike the Southeast Asian nation in more than a century. A Boeing 787 bound for London crashed moments after takeoff in India, killing 260 people and leaving just one survivor. The investigation remains stalled after disputes over what went wrong. 2025 ushered in a historic moment for the Catholic Church. After the death of Pope Francis, cardinals elected the world's first American pope, Chicago-born Leo XIV. Europe battled a record-breaking heat wave that killed thousands and witnessed a dramatic glacier collapse that buried a village in the Swiss Alps, all as another global climate summit ended with few tangible solutions. And in Britain, King Charles stripped his brother Prince Andrew of his royal title after more fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. The 77-year-old monarch continued his cancer treatment, while Princess Kate celebrated her remission. Tina Krause, CBS News, London.
And stay tuned for tomorrow at 2 p.m. when we'll be looking back at some of the major health stories from 2025. And with that, we are going to wrap things up here for the news on WTOC Plus. We appreciate you making us part of your afternoon. We'll be back in just about 35 minutes for another round of stories during Welcome to Our Community with Dawn Baker at 3 o'clock. And again, just for a programming note, tonight at 9, we will be carrying President Trump's primetime address to the nation right here on WTOC Plus. And in the meantime, for your latest updates, you can always head on over to our website to catch the latest at WTOC.com. Thanks for watching, and here's Local News Live.